Hi, everybody. Kathy Tooley, CEO. Welcome back as we pull back the curtains to my book, The Education System is Broken, Tools for Rebuilding, Strategies for Rebuilding Hope, Lives, and Futures. Today I want to talk about a curtain called The Roles of Our Administrators is Confusing. The roles are confusing. So I want you to, let me show you something. Administrators really have two roles. The first role is what I call management. And this role we're going to call educational leadership. Now, let me explain to you what they are and why they're so important. Management. Management is just what you would think about. It's the making sure we have the right bell schedule, making sure that the cafeteria staff has what they need, making sure that the custodians have all of the appropriate needs, making sure that all of the money is appropriately dealt with and appropriated, that all the state forms that we need to fill out as administrators are filled out and filed with the state appropriately. If there's discipline issues, going to proper hearings regarding discipline, parents, and the parents' needs as they come in and meet with us, working with our administrative team and working through athletics, working through fine arts, all of the things that it takes to keep your child's school running every day. Critical, right? This is educational leadership. And what I mean by this is this: evaluating teachers, making sure that we get into teachers' classrooms and see what's happening in those classrooms. Make sure that teachers are teaching in the most engaging manner, that they're differentiated instruction, that their assessments are rigorous and aligned to state standards. Making sure to support struggling teachers or new teachers that are pretty fresh out of college that need more supports. Making sure that the curriculum that they are teaching is aligned to what the state says needs to be taught. That's especially important with some veteran teachers who may not necessarily be aware of changes in the state. Making sure that we're working with teachers to utilize their data, that if their classes are not growing in the appropriate manner or students are not achieving at appropriate level, that we're assisting and helping those teachers get what they need. So I want to ask you a question. If you were sitting back running a building and you have the same 8 to 10 hours of a day, where do you think is the most important use of your time? Do you think it's more important that you deal with the running of the building, or that you really hone in on making teachers great and supporting your teachers? Where would you say you'd go? I will guarantee you that every one of you says this. Well, of course, this is the most vital thing I do. But every administrator watching this video right now knows this is where you spend your time. Because if you don't, you will end up on the news. If you don't, you will have a parent ticked off. If you don't, you will have a superintendent down your back. So what happens day after day for our administrators is, and I'm talking both building level and in the superintendent's office, is they get in their car saying, I'm going to get in classrooms today. I'm going to make a difference. I know I've got that struggling English teacher, and so I'm going to get in her room today. And as they walk in their building, there's a parent waiting on them, who, if they don't deal with right now, will go straight across to that superintendent's office or call their local news. So every single day, principals and superintendents and all of the assistants are pushing aside, taking this and putting less and less and less time into it. I, as a principal, have been called out of a teacher's classroom who asked me, can you please come observe this lesson because I need some support, because someone in the office needed me, or a parent called and was mad, or a student had a discipline issue and it could not wait, or there was a leak in the bathroom, or there was something wrong with the bells, they weren't functioning right, or there was a weather issue that I needed to deal with, or there was a safety concern that all of a sudden called me away, or there was an upset teacher who was upset at a child sitting in my office waiting on me. And who gets caught in the crossfire of every one of those decisions are my teachers. They don't get the support. They don't get the help. They don't get the encouragement. They don't get the resources that they need. And so every single day, these holes get filled by tasks that often could be handed off, but they won't be allowed to be handed off. And so principals every day and superintendents are balancing this. They're balancing this. And I want to read you something that I wrote in my book. It said, each year, more and more emphasis is being placed on administrators to become educational leaders. We know that. It's the expectation. It's why we went into teaching. We're proud of that. Just not managers. Yet, what ends up happening is this management side of running the building is so necessary that the educational leadership portion is often put on a back burner. I remember many times as an educator driving into school, and I knew I had a struggling teacher. Good teacher, just struggling. Needed some supports, needed some resources, needed some ideas. And I thought, today I'm getting in their room. And I scheduled a time and off I went. And I either got called out or sent out because of management. And I went into school the next day thinking, okay, today's it. I cleared a big chunk of my calendar. I'm not going to answer the 26 emails that I got this morning. I know that there's a couple parents that need to talk to me, but I've got to go support that teacher. I've got to support her. And yet again, I had parents show up in my office angry that I hadn't answered their email that they sent to me 3 hours ago. Or I had a parent waiting on me saying, my secretary would say, she's in a classroom, and they would say, well, you better get her out of it. You better get her out of it. And I remember as a young principal thinking, you don't tell me what to do. I am doing what I know I need to do. I'm being an educational leader. And that principal or that teacher, that parent would walk right across the way to the superintendent until the superintendent called me out of the classroom, because now they've got an angry parent sitting in their office. And I know what some of you as parents are going to say. My administration should be available to me. Really? I want you to tell me the last time you walked into your doctor's office and demanded that your physician see you. I want to know the last time that you called your lawyer, if you had one, and they dropped everything. They came out of court today because you were waiting on them. I want you to tell me the last time that you had a toothache. I've had a filling fall out. That you call your dentist and by goodness they cancel every patient. I want you to tell me the last time that you got a speeding ticket and you walked into court and said, by God, you'll see me today. Tell me the last time that happened. Well, of course it doesn't. So why do you think you could walk into the administrator's office and demand them? But yet it happens every day. And if we don't see parents, or if we don't deal with that leak, or if we don't deal with that social media post that went up last night and now somebody's upset, the media will grab a hold of that story and run with it. And so what we do is push aside our teachers. And then you wonder why teachers don't feel supported. It's like this vicious cycle. It's a vicious cycle. I had a superintendent give me an analogy once when I very first became an assistant principal, and I thought, oh my gosh, that's the best. Administrators are literally building the plane as we're flying it. And then boom, when a hole gets into it, we can't land the plane. We can't cancel school, are you kidding? So we're literally really quickly putting metal, torquing, putting things down so that plane will stay in the air. Because at the end of the day, that's what's expected of administrators. That no matter what comes their way, we keep that plane in the air. So my question to you is, which matters to you? What matters to you? Because until we address that, our teachers are going to get continued pushed aside. Think about that. Think about that and what's happening. As always, thank you. Please hit follow, subscribe, like, and please share. Please share this video. And don't forget to hit that bell so you can know when further alerts. This is only curtain number 4. We have many more curtains to come. As always, thank you so much for what you do every single day. Think about what I just said. Management or leadership, where do you want your administrators putting their time? And how are you supporting it? Have a fantastic day, everybody.